You ever been in the middle of your healing journey, transformation, out with the old, in with the new? It's like you can feel, taste, smell, grab and see the highest version of yourself, but you're not fully formed yet. It's like a gripping battle between self, what once was and what once is, and what's supposed to be. But you find yourself in the middle because you're not who you were, but you're not who you're fully supposed to be or becoming yet. Y'all ever feel like that? Or is it just me? Today we're going to explore the feelings and the positioning of being in the middle of your healing journey. It's quite ghetto of a feeling, if you ask me, but here we are, forming and feeling everything that we need to shed our old skin and push us to being thin. What? Come on, shout out to my skinny bitches. What y'all doing? Where y'all at? No. That's that on that. In the middle of it, 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 of your transformation. What's poppin', gang? It's your boy Poppy JB here, and we are here once again with another episode coming to you from the mic and not the camera, because I didn't really feel like being on camera right now. Yeah, I'm sitting in my room in my boxers, a little naked, and y'all, unless you are like really paying for that subscription, you're not gonna see it. But I definitely had this message and feelings that's just been lingering and boggling, mind boxing me in my mind for a hot ass minute, and I've been trying to put words to the feelings as opposed to just feeling them. And I'm a person, I mean, as you know, especially if you've been listening since season 1, I'm the type of person that likes to get to the root of the feeling. Why are we feeling this way? What's going on? Who did it? Where the fuck is y'all at? Like, you know, all of the things to better understand what I'm going through, what I have been through, and for you guys to better understand too what you're going through or what you possibly can relate to. But that's just me. Hopefully I won't be holding you too long in this sermon of this church special. But I got a couple of notes, and it's a long one. It's an extensive bullet-pointed note, but I don't think that this should be too long of an episode. But we know, and if you know, you know. A nigga can yap. A nigga can yap. But it's always something of value that we're yapping about. Yes. Can the church say amen? Amen. Can it say amen again? No. Hold on, bitch. Wait a minute. Hold up. For my non-religious folk in the back and in the front. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. I was going to say we're not about to talk about God and all the other good stuff, but you know, God created creation, source being light, life force, who is the head of my life. Shush kebab, E. coli, and he is driving on a Hyundai Sonata.
Hallelujah! Glory! Ooh, don't get me to start shouting all up and through here. Y'all would not be having all these problems if y'all just gave a little more money to the church.
We're gonna talk about God somewhere in here, but this isn't like a Bible thumping kind of episode. You know what I mean? Cause ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of Bible thump and grind, but it ain't nothing wrong. It ain't nothing. All right, God, forgive me, cause look, I ain't trying to have you strike. Oh, I'm trying to strike. I'm trying to strike. All right, But yeah, no, seriously though, being in the transitional state of transformation, whether that's in the middle of your healing journey or in the middle of just you shedding who you was and, you know, you changing in life and who you gonna be, whatever you say, I am changing. I got my life together now. I am changing. Hold on, wait. I am. See, I'm fucking it up. Fucking it up. I am. Yeah. But being in the middle of transformation is quite perplexing. I don't really try to live my life by fear anymore, so I can't really say it's scary. The uncertainty of the unknown can always be frightening, but we're not living from fear, so that's not fully the case. It's like you're in the middle of your journey once again, and you say, shit, I ain't never been this age before. I don't know how I'm supposed to be. And granted, nobody's trying to conform to social norms and the quote unquote regular normalities of life. But nobody wants to be like you normal bitches. No, nobody really, from what I have heard, or haven't heard, shall I say, nobody's really talked about that in-between phase of life of becoming and shedding and becoming. It's always, oh, persevere, push forward, you know, you got this, you're going to be there. Or it's always the rags to riches story told from the riches after the rags, as opposed to being told. I guess, you know, you can't always tell your story in the middle because you don't know where your destination is going. And I'm not really here to glorify the feelings or anything else like that, but these are the middle and the guts of the transformation of life. Your glow up, you know, going from a kid to adult, even being an adult, still being a kid, back to an adult. It's a very, very, very taxing at times place. Now, this is a time to explore or re-explore and have fun and experience life with a different lens, not the rose what is that, the rose colored lenses, the rose glass lenses, the colored glass roses. What's y'all know the same what I'm trying to talk about? Not from the glass rose lenses, the lenses, the what the fuck is that? Anyway, but you view in life with a more experienced eye, a little bit more soaked in. Try not to have a jaded perspective on things and be a pessimist. You really want to be like an optimist. So either way, you're getting to see life from a growner set of eyes. Very much so grown. And adulthood is very much so ghetto. I don't know why the fuck we even wanted to sit here as kids and wanted to beat these things. Because what the fuck you mean? You just sitting there getting old. You going, die. You just waking up every day to die. Just because you know at the end of the day gotta end and everybody gotta die. Dive in, whoa. No, but like seriously, adulthood is top tier ghetto, and especially I'm early Gen Z 98. But and yes, we are going to blame the boomers and the niggas that came before us. Yeah, y'all fucked the world up. Y'all left it to us in a shitty envelope that we didn't ask to come. And the only envelope I'm interested in is the one that Jocelyn was trying to blackmail Carly with, telling her that this information right here that I got in this envelope, you don't want exposed. So like, I mean, and there's so many different ways to think about how was the world left, if it was left, and all the other good jazz. But we're talking right now. Right now, it's ghetto. Things are high. Gas is high. Food is high. Traveling expenses, they, depending on where you're going and what you're doing, high. You know what I'm saying? Clothes is high, unless you're shopping from Shein. And no, this isn't a sponsored ad, so. But if y'all want to send me, Sean, we can talk about Sean. But either way, everything high. And everything due. Rent due, light due, car note due, baby shark do. Like, it's a whole bunch of going on right now. And once again, we ain't been this age before. So how you going to tell me how to be or where I should be and how I should be? You can't really tell me how to be, because I'm still trying to figure out what to be. Before I go off task, that just brings me back to the middle of transformation. It's like just to get just a piece of personal, and then back up out my business. The last 2.5, maybe 3 years now, has been quite the story, okay? Quite the chapters in my book. Quite fucking ghetto as fuck. Quite life crippling to some people, okay? But I rise, and I'm still gonna get my large French fries, okay? And I can say I would say I can say that it's been like ghetto, but it's also been like good, but it's also been like ghetto, but it's also been like good, because like in the middle of like rock bottom, I'm still performing, I'm still reaching new levels of the podcast, even with it being on hiatus. Still mixing, mingling, networking with people. Once again, performing, hosting, doing stage shows and stuff like that, but in the same height of things. And you can even say making more money than I was making before shit started going south. And it was crazy because making more money before shit went south, I was spending more fucking money while shit was going south. And it's just like, what the fuck? Now, yes, I am fully aware, before you even, you know what I'm saying, get in the comment sections talking about, well, that's your fault. I'm fully aware that I have been the drama, and I have been a piece of the problem for my woes in life. Well, I'm not gonna say peace, because you know you won't own everything. I understand my part in how life is moving and how I was and was not moving. It's just been like, I don't know. It's like you seeing certain new heights of your career or one of your careers, and simultaneously you drowning in debt. Oh, ghetto. Getting into accidents, getting in and out of relationships, having random stalkers, then having people falling in love with you and you don't want them. And then like just having snakes in the grass, and while the grass is getting high, constantly working every day, night and day, 12, 18-hour shifts and days, and yet still seeing the snakes. Chop, chop, bitch. And they say you see a snake in your grass, cut that bitch at the head, so you ain't gotta worry about the rest of the shit, and you can go back to bed. Nobody has time, okay? Unless you're gonna put it on my boot. Well, you know, like a snakeskin boot, or like, you know, a little a bag or something. Yeah, but the last 2 years have been quite humbling, and I wouldn't even really want to look at it like that, because my ego, should I say, that has been a part of the problem. My ego that has been dying. Although Jay-Z said sometimes you need your ego, gotta remind these fools who they fucking with, because we got fuckers too. But my ego does not want to allow, or didn't, because obviously speaking it, but didn't allow me to see it as humbling. Just seeing it as trials and tribulations. And yes, this shit still is trials and tribulations, but it's very much so mind altering and life changing. And it definitely can't go unnoticed. It hasn't been unnoticed. I notice fucking everything, and I understand everything happens for a reason. Everything's for your greater good, and everything, you know, eventually things will be brighter. Shouts out to Kirk Franklin. It's gonna be a brighter day, 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 brighter day. All right, let me stop, because you know, copyright restrictions, and I don't have time. Yes. So being humbled, well, it's a very humbling experience when you go from having and being everything that you need for yourself and for others around, to not having the things that you need. It's like having everything and losing it all. you go from being everything to now seeing everything from a distance. And it's like a slight eerie feeling of failure, if I might be honest with myself. And you get those feelings of doubt. And once again, we're talking about being in the middle of transformation and your healing journey and just your journey in becoming in life. Shouts out to Pastor Mike. Was it Michael Jr.? It's like the in-between phase of coming up from being down. And there's not really too many places to go from down but up anyway. So that's always like the beauty in lifing and things going up and things going down, because once you're down, you're going to come back up. What they say, pimps up, hoes down. You know what I'm saying? And once again, the question that I had to ask to the pimps up and the hoes being down is, which one are you? The pimp or the hoe? And where are you in life? I guess that is a where are you in life kind of question. Are you the pimp? Are you the hoe? Are you up? Are you down? What's going on? Where is the manyan? Where is it going? Yeah, but the in-between phase, it's like a purgatory kind of feeling. Once again, not being where you were, knowing that you have a greater purpose or greater good or better days are coming. Bigger and better things are unfolding. And yes, everything sometimes has to be the sacrifice to a new life. It's still that waiting room feeling of what the fuck is going on?
Where the fuck is your at?
I mean, and yes, you want to practice stillness and really just being one in the moment and in the process and experience, but
Where's your at?
you still have those feelings almost of like nothingness, of like what the fuck is going on. It's a mind boxing kind of thing. Shout out to Tommy. A mind jogging kind of thing. No, but seriously though, it's a feeling that you can shake, but sometimes when you're in it, you feel like you can't because you don't know what time the timeline is on. Purgatory. Everything's blank. Also too, having everything and then not, it is a blank canvas and a blank state, a blank slate to really just create some new art. But being and coming from a place of having and being everything that you need and want and all other good stuff in life, the ups of life, and then hitting that goddamn pavement a little bit, a little secretion on the forehead, a little piece, and then also being on the go, working, doing this, doing that, kind of living like the fast life in a way. It's easy to burn out. I've been burnt out for a hot minute. I'm not burnt out like that, because some of y'all are really burnt out on like these perks and like burnt out on a whole bunch of other shit that we're not going to talk about in this episode. But just like a little spin from life, like after life has been doing what it do and life has been life and all the other good shit, you just like, bitch, I'm motherfucking tired. What Tokyo said, I'm ready to get the fuck ASAP. Like before this shit, not even after. It's just really like, being on the roller coaster of life and, riding those waves of ups and downs, and you really just spinning you down for a hot ass minute. You being me being you, the real ones that's listening that understand. If you know, it can leave you feeling empty. And I've felt empty a few times in life. And all the time, it's really not a good feeling. Now there's I don't want to say stages, but like ups or different versions of emptiness, feeling empty and burnt out and tired and over all of this shit. And no, I am not going to jump, because I do like myself a little bit much more. And I also understand that you don't want to jump off the bridge because you want to end your life. Sometimes you just want to end the situation that you in. So on a serious note, for the people that are struggling with those habits and thoughts, it's not you, it's the moment. And once the moment is over, another moment arrives. So hold on, be strong, and don't let the devil get you. All right?
Osama bin Laden, glory.
But back to what I was saying, the feelings of emptiness and the feelings of burnt out. And just really over the process being the process, although you got to hold on for the process to be the process so you can end up processing what you need to process. You know what I'm saying? It's just really just like, it's just really been, just a little bit ghetto. A little bit ghetto tonight. A little bit ghetto. A little bit ghetto, alright. But once again, this is just the middle of transformation. So it's just like in transforming, you are not trying to be a Decepticon. You're trying to be an Autobot. So you gotta upgrade in life. You're transforming, is you in that middle phase of separating from your old identity and forming to your new identity, old self to new self, or your higher self or your higher form for the moment, because we're forever growing until we're dying. You really are in that purgatory space of unknown. You're in the waiting room of you loading and you unlearning habits and truly shedding your skin, your spirit, releasing things and releasing old patterns and habits that you've had to keep up with to survive, your tools of survival. And you're trying to release those and still build and form and embody the next version of yourself. And I ain't never did this before, so I ain't never been this age before. I don't know. Yeah, it's like that loading phase. You're forming into your new self, but it's like the ultimate evolution of life. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. And yes, once again, cut back to the earlier points of the episode, we all are dying. Necessarily, everybody's, you're aging is, getting you a little bit closer to death after the wisdom, and all other good jazz. But yeah, but not to be all morbid and whatnot. Life goes up, life goes down, and that shit does go around and around. Hakuna Matata, because fucking what's his name, Mufasa, said it's the grand circle of life. Okay, and it truly is the grand circle. Now he might have been talking more so about like how we're all connected and all other good stuff, the trees, the flowers, the plants, and like the animals and the people and stuff. But it applies to life, just going around and around. It's a cycle and a circle and a up and a down. It's a roller coaster, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, if your life was just linear, boom, a flat line, that'd be boring as fuck. And your story would be dry as shit. Nobody wants to read like a dry ass story once it really get down to it. So it's just like, hey, when that book come out, that book gonna come out. But we're gonna talk about that another time. But just your life being linear, it'd be very dry. So you have to appreciate your ups and you gotta appreciate your downs. Down, down, baby, oh, she a baby, sweet, sweet, baby, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I don't remember that song like that, but whatever. And once again, appreciating your ups and your downs. Appreciating your ups and your downs. You can't forget to count your wins, because that's one thing I can say I've forgotten to do quite a few times, especially with just living life, with just going on and on. And what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And, I want to say always living the fast life, but like living in the form of, all right, come on. Survival, we gotta go, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And as you continue to move, you continue to work, you continue to do this, you do that, you stay busy, you don't really take the time to soak in everything that you, one, are doing, two, that you've accomplished, and then three, the things that are fully going around you. Now I'm an aware individual, so I be knowing shit, I be knowing the things around, but you know what I mean. Stay with me. And you can't discount what you have done just because you're trying to get somewhere else now. You've conquered it. You have to always remember and count your wins. Little W's, big double DW. Shout out to DW. You got to count your shit. Now, no, you can't backslide to the past and relive things, but definitely be in the moment when it is your moment so you can soak it in and you have more to remember when you actually remember those wins, because continuing to move on and on and on and on quickly, that can be a gift and more of a curse, because then After you accomplish so much shit, you'll really start to feel like, oh damn, what the fuck am I doing? Because you're too busy worrying about what's the next thing you're going to do. Yeah. But also too, with appreciating your wins and counting your wins, you gotta also appreciate your losses. Because a win is a win, but a loss is a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Yes, bars, drops mic, walks away. However, don't worry about if that was a corny bar. Mind your fudging business. I'm going number one. Anyway, so as I was saying, you have to appreciate your losses, because those are the lessons, and those are also the things that you now know what not to do. Or, you know, the things that they teach you about perseverance or endurance and whatever, so often, whatever your L's are applied to your life. We'll be here all night if we really get into like all of the losses, because the losses be losses, but they be lessons. So, appreciate that. And like I always say, I think I've said it, I would like to say I've said it multiple times on the pod, but I don't really remember too much. It's a quote that I've been holding on to for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Once I heard it, maybe like 4 or 5. But it is, life's not falling apart, it's been falling in place. Now, my life's been falling in place for a hot ass minute at this present moment, because I guess God needed to put me through some things, give me a little Job story or whatever, that good jazz. But he had to knock on my forehead a couple of different times, drag me by the beard a little bit and say, did you get that? Did you understand that? Did you see that lesson? Okay. Do you need another one? Because I'm just saying, God's been dragging me low fudging key, but he's been keeping me under his wing, so I can't be too mad at that, because once again, that's a part of appreciating your wins and your losses, your lessons and your blessings, because you always gonna have that protection. And once again, snap. Excuse me. I know my bars are barring, like, please. They say the king of rap. In this messy thing we call life, going up and down, and God really bringing me through some things. Take me through there. And it's all planned to have to return home, just for a little peace. Now, back up out my business. Not too much on my business. And no, we're not here to get into all of my business, because mind your, say it with me, business. Exactly. So I, in all of the chaos of life, I returned home. Quite ghetto experience, might I add. But it's not the side of the street, so I am grateful for that. But incorporating that, like, on a serious note, incorporating that into this transformation, transforming, healing journey, and rediscovering myself, and healing again and again, and healing some more, healing your inner child. And then after that, nobody really tells you about this fucking either. After you fucking heal your inner child, if you got inner child problems and wounds, then here come your fucking teenage child or teenager self version of yourself that you got to get to too. It's like, once again, it's levels to the shit, but then it's also like, damn, are we gonna have a final boss? But I guess the final boss is being in the present moment and you being you, because you are the final boss of your life. But either way, before I get sidetracked, all of that go together. Or returning home just really adds to the purgatory state of being, or feeling, shall I say, being in that middle, adding the fucking lemon pepper that nobody asks for on this dish. The it's not even a cherry on the top. It's all in how you look at it. But it definitely adds to the feeling of feeling stuck, or feeling Like, what's going on? What's next? What are you doing? The fuck? But always gotta remember God's plan, and to plan out your life too, because you know what I'm saying, you can't just be out here raw dogging shit. Now, I mean, you can, but you just might get herpes, so don't be doing that all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, you really got to get it back to like life, planning, praying, and you know, playing with God, because you know, God's the author. We're just the illustrators out here. So I got to keep remembering myself, because it's also too, and not to keep bringing God into it, because God is in everything. But it's just the process being the process. It's the evolution of life. Now, you know, everybody has different walks and different purposes and different reasons of, you know, why we're hearing all the other good stuff. But for the ones that this is for and that it relates to, the feelings are ghetto. But feelings are feelings. Feelings aren't always facts, but feelings can lead to some factual charges. No, but anyway, so yeah, just always have to remember it's all a part of the plan. It's all gonna be in this mean, nasty chapter in my book. But it's all just, you know, it's all a part of the process. You got to keep rolling, keep going. But I also think it's returning home is, you know, it kind of symbolizes the next step in healing and really going back to a place that hurt you. Usually they say you can't heal in a place that you hurt, but I also think this is like kind of like a way of testing your healing and really seeing, like, am I really out here fucking healing and doing the work? Can I pass these tests, or is it all just head work and talk? Shouts out to the head work out there. Quack quack gawk gawk 3000s, sponsored by no. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's a part of the plan. It's definitely in, because once again, being a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, it's definitely in the category of testing and healing, and testing your healing, or should I say testing my healing. And yeah. Pray for me. No, well, you know, I don't want everybody's prayer. You can't just be in anybody's prayer, because sometimes people be pray-e. What she say? BICTH. No. Sometimes people be PREYINGing as opposed to PRAYINGing on you or for you. You know what I'm saying? And you can't just be accepting prayers from everybody. So, but you know, I'm gonna leave that right there. But yeah, it definitely symbolizes like not forgetting where you come from, but also too why you should not be a product of your environment or a product of where you come from. Because you never want to forget where you come from in life. Cause, you know, those are the lessons. Those are the formings and the formation of who you are internally, or at least who you once was. But it's also like, just because you came from a certain place don't mean you need to be of a certain place, or like the surroundings of a certain place, or, you know, the people or environment. So yeah, I definitely think that's like a symbol of not forgetting where you come from, but also remembering not to be a product of where you come from, and also healing. Ha 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 ha. Humbled beginnings. I'm just trailing down my list. Okay. Yeah, because I come from humbled beginnings. But I also, like I always say too, and I spoke on this briefly in season 1, coming from a humbled beginning was like, but I still was like spoiled in a way. So I kind of got everything that I wanted for the most part, but I also didn't get what I needed. But we're not going to, you know, go into like a whole Iyanla Vanzant episode, because look, okay, I said I don't know if this was going to be a long episode or a short episode. I got to edit this, okay? Not to be lazy. But I'm just saying. But yeah, plastic silver spoon. Coming from a humble beginning, it really puts you in survival mode at a very young age, because you have to learn how to be an adult earlier in life, way faster than you need to be. Then you be out there doing things that you don't need to be doing, okay? And that could lead to a whole lot of other things if unaddressed and unhealed wounds, actions, and a whole world of some shit. Okay. But being in survival mode, you pick up things in life that you need to survive mentally, physically, and all of those other good things. But being in survival mode can only take you but so far in life, and it really can, I believe, stunt your growth past certain points, because you're too busy holding on to the things of the past and the tools that got you and guided you through life and in your beginning, and mine's too. As opposed to releasing and learning new things and releasing those things and those habits and tactics and making room for more knowledge and more ways to go about living, and different ways to go about living and not just surviving in life. But once again, it's all about the journey. What he should say? It's the journey. Ooh, yeah. I'm still here. Yo, that is my shit, not gonna lie. And the full song is not that bad outside of the meme. It kind of go off if you ask me. But back to what I was talking about. So breaking out of survival mode is definitely a part of the healing journey. It has been one of the final bosses of the healing journey, and really just rewiring the brain and really like retesting the material. You know what I'm saying? And really just going and applying different ways of living. I can, if we freely speak, I can say it's been a challenge cause I got ADHD. I be forgetting some stuff sometimes, and to reapply and to really get into a habitat. And I guess I can not just like be or give the lazy response of just having ADHD, although it's a very real thing. They say it takes what, like 2-3 weeks, maybe 30 days or something like that to break a habit. And then like, no, I think it's like 2 weeks to break a habit, 3 weeks to break a habit, 30 or 45 days or something like that, start a new one or some shit. I don't know, I gotta look that back up. It's not jogging my mind right now. But yeah, don't want to just always give the lazy response, but it definitely forming new habits and really sitting in the planting soil of the new habits. And yeah, you can see changes throughout daily things, but really just reaping the full benefit, and I guess you can say the true ripeness of new habits and forming new ways of living and seeing what the payoff will be can sometimes make you really feel like, okay, what the fuck am I doing any of this for? But stay with me and stay with the journey, all right? You know what I'm saying? Sam Smith. No, but like, you just really have to, you know what I'm saying, not quit in the middle, because that, my friend, is not good. Because then also too, like, even if you only did a quarter or half of the work, what the fuck you do all the half of the work for if you ain't really going to stick and see what the end going to be? And that can apply to situations, or that can apply to life, that can apply to job. It can apply for a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? Also to always know when to leave, because you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, because some things are really just worth, like, you know, continue on. But to not get off topic again, breaking out of survival mode and like the personal matrix to feel like you being sucked back in, or I'm being sucked back in, or have been sucked back in, you know, and ain't even spit. No, but of survival mode. And I'm saying this with having to regress back to returning home, is adding once again to that feeling of the downside of life, and those feelings of stuckness and complacency. Once again, being humbled over the last 2 to 3 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things after things after things after things after things after cinder blocks. But we're not complaining. We're just analyzing life. This is like therapy in a way. I've also been in therapy, so that's good. You know, win is a win. But this is also to journaling audibly, you know, or something like that. So if you made it this far in the episode, shouts out to you. You my kind of person. But don't forget to like, comment, follow, subscribe. And if you want some drip, some clothing, some shoes, a little bit of hats, accessories, or even podcasting gear, starting up and all the other good stuff, hit my Linktree bio. I'm gonna drop it in the description box, but it also should be on the website, and it also should be in like all of my bios across social media. So yeah, yes, and especially because I've been doing what the fuck I've been doing. All right, life has been lifing. So yes, not only click on my link. I'm gonna need you to buy something because you're like, okay, I need your money. What Frankie said, I need that money. Shouts out to Set It Off. Yeah, so being, experiencing that downside of the roller coaster of life and having everything and then being everything, then losing everything, it just once again leaves me with a blank canvas to receive, and that's the blessing and everything, because and outside of receiving, I had to learn how to really receive, because I'm like one of the people that's like, even to this day, just out here wanting to do everything for myself and not really asking for help too much, and not really allowing people to help me or even see me in a form of needing help. And that was a part of the problem and a part of this healing journey too. I've, talked about that in a few episodes, but really just allowing people, places, and things to help you and help me in this very ghetto time of need. Okay, but I'm kind of like, losing my balance right now. I'm not losing my balance. My mind is trying to go everywhere. It's a part of the plan of being able to have an open mind, an open slate, and an open plate to allow God to give me everything that I need and want going forward, and instilling the habits and forms of new living and new life out of survival mode, because trying to be sucked back into the matrix, this little ghetto. But and side note, when you're trying to shed and elevate and go through your evolution and all of the good things like that, it seems like everything in its mama and in your nervous system will try to fight back. Okay, fight back. But I'm here to say, fight back, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, don't allow your nervous system to continue to lead you to a space and a place that actually is no longer conducive to your healing and your growing and your elevation of life. But also, while still having gratitude, giving gratitude, grace, and thank to my old mechanisms and my old self and my younger, my inner child, for carrying me thus far and being smart and vigilant in everything that I need and have needed for life. But with your ups and your downs, your good and your bad, with your toxic traits come some good traits. But you also have to remember some things and some ways of living are just outdated, and you can't really reform into that next level with holding on to older things or older ways of thinking, older ways of being, whether they got you far or not. But giving grace and gratitude always to yourself, myself as well. But once again, this is for the niggas, strictly for the niggas. No, I'm saying this is for the people that is for. It's all a part of the journey. It is definitely, in my belief, of God's plan. Being in the ebbs and flows and being in the ebbs really gave me the time to sit and be with God and be with self and really just dig deeper. Now, I usually can dig deep on autopilot, but to really just take the time to not be so busy and doing so many things, because your mental well-being is everything. You know what I mean? And we want to be connected with mind, body, and spirit and have everything flow like water. Ooh, 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 like water. Anyway, that's my jam too. Shouts out to the Sunday service. No, it's Kanye West. It's Kanye West in the Sunday service choir. But yeah, you want your mental to be straight. You want your mind, your body, and your spirit to be straight. And that definitely starts with giving yourself the grace and the time and the knowing that it's okay to not be okay, even when you know, in any moment, whether you are good and okay, or you bad and not okay. Okay. But just like I always say, don't stay in your not okayness. Like, it's okay to not be okay, but like, it's also okay to seek help. It's also okay to release. 1, 2, 3, release them. It's also okay to sit in stillness and try to mentally configure and figure out what's going on. But you don't gotta stay there long, and you don't gotta stay there forever, okay? Because forever don't last too long. Shouts out to Jasmine Sullivan, that's my baby. But also, life moves on. Time continues to go. And this is a healing phase. And they say you always healing when you're healing. You better be out there healing and stuff like that, because you're gonna need to heal from some other shit going on further that you don't even know about. This is, the healing journey is what it is, but the bounce back journey is what it's gonna be. And that is the best part about all of this, cause shit, you know what I'm saying? What they say, bounce back, bounce back. And it's already here, so it's God is good all the time, and all the time. What? Yes. But yeah, let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel. Like, have you ever had this feeling? This feeling of purgatory in the middle of a transformation stage, like, shedding your old self to become your new higher self, your present self, your higher being, your higher form, your sense of becoming. Have you ever felt like, you know what I'm saying? You ever felt this little ghetto little spot in life? You know what I mean? I don't know. But definitely like, comment, follow, subscribe, and let me know what you think on this matter. Are we relating? Are we cousins? Or y'all just, some bystanders passing by? But this has been some lessons learned from a loner. Yeah, I don't really got too much more to say after that. I mean, I probably do, and I probably will have some more to say after I'm done. Like, as soon as I just stop recording, I'm like, and another thing. Shouts out to that segment. But right now, I'm just, I'll be continuing to yap about some other shit. So, lessons learned from a loner, and that's just that on that.